Preparing to lift off. Is this like Star Trek? No, is that Infinity? I don't
Infinity
know. It
and
might be
beyond.
Infinity and beyond. Let us. Oh, I believe we are live. Hello and good morning, everyone, and welcome to Virtual Coffee. We have launched. Hello, Prosper Turuvinga from Leong Digital. How are you doing this morning?
Cheryl, thank you so much for inviting me onto your platform here. And yes, I'm
Okay.
enjoying my coffee.
Absolutely. I actually have to go order mine. I'm actually in a proper, almost like coffee place to have a coffee, but I don't have a coffee. But so that's the irony. But that's not what we're really here for today, Prosper. The whole idea is for virtual coffee is to have amazing guests like you who are doing incredible things to help businesses grow. And Prosper, your superpower and your team's superpower is in the digital marketing space, and in particular, SEO. All right. So Prosper, tell us a little bit about Live Long Digital, what it is that you do. I know there's SEO, but other things as well. Tell us a bit about you.
Absolutely. That's a really good question because the best question would have been, what don't you do? But generally, what Live Long Digital and my team do is we are helping our clients generate leads using search engine optimization. So among the things that we're doing is we're helping them create brand awareness, and we're helping them find new customers, and we're using either quick and straightforward changes onto their website, or actually optimizing their sites so that Google and other search engines can find them. And the reason that is important is so that people can buy from them, and eventually people now have a business that's profitable and enjoyable.
Yeah, and how much are people still looking for businesses? Because there's all sorts of social media. There's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, there's Instagram, and all of that, right? But I mean, is search engine optimization (SEO) only dedicated to if you stick someone's name in Google?
Absolutely. That's also a very, very good question. So what you're asking there is, do we only just need a website for you to be seen
Correct.
and be
Yeah,
found on
absolutely.
SEO? So generally, I would like to sort of maybe extrapolate that question a little bit. What SEO is and what it's not, and how it actually would help a small to medium business, right? Now, SEO is the process of alerting search engines of the existence of either a service or product that you're selling, in order for somebody to find you. SEO is just a filing system. Everyone has created a website, everybody has created a social media platform, but for each and every person who is looking for goods and services to make sense of the world around them, Google,
Mm.
Bing, and Yahoo have made it easy by filing, our websites accordingly. So let's say you go to a library and all the books are on the floor. You wouldn't know what book to pick up. You wouldn't know what book to read, all right? But if you file them in a systematic way, you would know, okay, if I want a marketing book, I go to this section. If I want a social media book, I go to this section. If I want a book about health, I go to this section. So we as human beings like system and order. Can you
Mm.
imagine if you go to a shopping center or into a shop, and all the food stuff is just in a big pile, and you have to scrummage through to find your salt from your bagged beans? You know what I mean? So that's what SEO really is, making sense of the internet, just so that our customers can find us in a systematic and orderly fashion.
And find us in an easy way where we're saying if it's digital marketing and SEO, you probably see it prosper up there. But I mean, but there's millions of businesses around the world, right? Like, how do you get yourself? And this is the goal of every business, or is it the goal of it, or should it be the goal of every business to be on the front page and first page of Google?
That shouldn't be the goal of any business. The goal of any business is to create customers, is to relate to your audience, is to actually provide value. Now, SEO is just an enabler. Okay, when people are searching for your products or services, you having the value that you want them to connect with is what SEO does. Now, not everyone should do SEO. Just in case maybe your service is in a small local community where people can literally talk at a barbecue and say, hey, you can buy this stuff from Cheryl's market down the road. You don't need SEO for that. All right. Or if your product is very niche and people actually know where to find it and how to find it and how to distinguish it from each and every other person, there won't be any need for SEO for that. All right. But if you're serving a larger market, if you're serving people at different walks of life, if you're serving people at different stages of buying, this is where SEO now becomes very handy. Now, in every business, you have a sales cycle where people are aware of your business and then they consider buying from you and then they make a decision and then you then convert them. No one is just going to buy instantly unless you're buying candy. All right. So that you're selling candy. Sorry. So in every step of the journey that your customer is getting, you need to be providing the right information, the right content, the right context for them to then find your website. This is what then SEO is doing, making sense of what that person is searching online and then providing that content or information to them without bombarding them with everything else that you do.
Yes, absolutely. So this is the topic of our conversation today, right? What are the reasons that people should not go into SEO? Because it's it seems to me such a powerful tool, right? Everyone wants to optimize their website with this or that. But are there people that shouldn't be doing SEO?
Absolutely.
That is the question.
So first of all, SEO is really well optimized if you've got a website. So if you haven't got a website as yet, it's not a good idea to be even looking at doing SEO. But that's not the be it and end all, because we've got other platforms like your LinkedIn, your Facebook. You can always optimize those because if you Google your name right now, what's the first profile that comes up? So you want to make sure that people have the right information about what you offer and where you're offering it from. And usually, if you optimize whatever platform that appears first, then you might have many chances of you being found when your customers are searching.
Yeah. So one, have a website. And if you don't have a website, still you can optimize all your other social media, which is something I didn't realize that it made a difference. I always thought it needed to be websites, but that's a really good learning point. So again, your Facebook profile, LinkedIn, does it apply to YouTube as well?
Since Google bought YouTube, YouTube has become the second biggest search engine. So a lot of people are learning information and content from YouTube. So why not put yourself in front of an audience which is generally and basically already searching for those things, goods and services that you're providing. All right.
Yeah.
So which is where the second bit that I was going to talk about content. All right. To basically make sure that you are always providing content. This very thing that we're doing here, Cheryl, we are providing content. You and me are freezing a moment in time. Okay. Even though I have my coffee and you haven't got yours, but during this virtual coffee day, this content can actually be indexed based on the keywords of what it is that I'm saying and the things that you're asking me. All right. So even if you don't yet have a website, you are at least creating and generating, indexable content, which can later on be found if people are searching for you. I did a search last night, just to see who else has spoken about this topic. If you Google why not to do SEO, your Facebook post for this event comes up at number 2.
There you go. Number 2. Who's number 1? Goodness. We're going to take them down, Prosper. Take them down.
Absolutely. So whatever information that we are putting into the internet, as long as you're the first to go, to talk about, in that lane, Google automatically puts your content and context at the top. So just so that we really wrap our heads around this, Google is basically trying to make sure that when people are coming to the internet, they get the right information that they're looking for. It's in their best interest to make sure that all this traffic that comes onto the Google platform eventually engages with the ads, because that's how they make money. So if your website is not, if you're not doing AdWords, you better believe that you need to make sure that your website and your content is reaching the first 2 or first 3 tiers so that people can actually find you. All right. So Google is using small to medium businesses like you and me to populate their search engines and the internet with content just so that they can make money. But in the process, we then also have to benefit. We also then benefit. Okay. So people are coming to the internet to get information. And if your website is providing that information, then they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And people do business with those they know, like, and trust. That's the whole premise of what search engine optimization is. If you're providing content and if you're really helping people by actually helping them, you stand to be, put up there, depending on the topic and the keywords that you're using for people to search for your work, etc.
Absolutely. All right. That goes on to the second thing about why people shouldn't do SEO, is because is SEO something that you can sort of do tomorrow and you find results the day after?
The very, very best way to answer that question is by posing yet another question. How often do you update your phone? Or how often are you updating the software of your phone? All right. So every 2 or 3 weeks, if you got an Apple or a Samsung, they want you to update the phone or something like that. That's because they have changed either the algorithm or the software or the system or the way that the phone actually functions. And if you don't, your phone starts getting slower and slower, and it now becomes controlled obsolescence. So generally, SEO is not a set and forget structure. And that's why when we started this call, we say, if you're not, well-versed in how you want to grow your business and how far you want to go, SEO might not be the strategy for you, because it's not a set and forget. Every once in a while, you have to constantly update the website. You have to constantly update it so that it fits in with the algorithm of Google. All right. Every 6 or so months, Google updates the way they index websites. And it's not a big change, but sometimes it might actually affect the way things rank. So you might be ranking today, but if you come up in 3 or 4 weeks, the algorithm might have changed and you're missing out on something. And that means you have slipped in the ranks. So that's the reason why it's best practice that when you know that you're in this business for the long haul, you actually then seek out people that can help you, constantly monitor your site and make sure that you are keeping up with all the changes that are happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, because how does someone keep up with all the changes and making sure they're updating their website and all that? Because the everyday business person has 500 other things to do. What are the tools to be able to help them do that?
Absolutely. So obviously, to answer that question, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands full. All right. If you would look at, just the way we got set up on this call, you've got a virtual person that's, and shout out to your virtual girl there who's, making this happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You know what I mean? So we need people that are helping us and people that are looking out, for our best interest out there. Okay. Google actually sends all these updates. All right. So when you are venturing into the world of SEO, there's what is called the Google Search Console, where you actually send your website in and Google then crawls your site, and then they choose where you rank amongst people that are doing the same thing as you're doing. All right. So that's a place where us SEO people say we go there and worship the Google gods and tell all the and tell other robots that robots.
Take it all. Yes. Yeah.
And one thing they don't tell you is crying is actually a step in the process towards getting
good. Yes.
that you
Get
want
good at
to.
crying. Yes.
Absolutely. So there's what is called the Google Search Console. And in that Search Console, Google will always be telling you pointers as to what you need to fix on your site and what you need to work on, just in case you're sleeping on rankings. And they tell you maybe 6 or 7 months in advance that there's a new update that's coming. Updates are really subtle, and half of the time it's just really, even if you're not going to be following every and any other update, just consistently putting content that is relevant, that your audience absolutely loves, that they're going to share, will make sure that you're always in the good books of Google. Because one thing happened 22 years ago when Google started. They lied to us. This was the biggest lie that Google made. And the biggest lie was all the information that you get when you type into Google actually comes from Google itself. They made it look like they've got midgets behind the scenes that are looking out for all this information just so that, you can find, where the nearest coffee shop is. All right. But what is actually happening is we as business people are feeding that content into the internet. We are putting all that information into the internet, and Google just so happens to make sense of it for those that are searching for it. So it is in our best interest for us to make sure that Google still looks good and nobody exposes that lie to them about them. All right. So we need to make sure that our websites have the best content, are mobile friendly, have all the right, things that Google looks at in order for them to present that website to people that are searching for it, so that whoever types into Google would still think that they got that information from Google.
Yes. And so what sort of content are we talking about? Is it written content? Is it video content? And does it mean, for people out there that are going, I can't even write an email, for example, how am I going to provide, produce content for a website and video for it?
Absolutely. Now I'm going to pose this question to you there, Cheryl. Cheryl, what do you find most comfortable to do when somebody says, let's create content? Are you more of a podcast person? Are you more of a video person? Are you more of a writer? Or are you more of a curator, like bringing in other people's content and making sense of it? Which of these categories do you fall into?
Personally, I'm probably more a video.
Okay.
Similar to this. So that's where I help create content, where especially when I'm with people. However, when I'm, say, by myself, I like to I prefer to write.
Okay. Great stuff. So what you just told me, right now we're creating this video, right? And I hope we're recording this.
Yes.
Are we?
Yes, we sure are.
Absolutely right. So this recording, you could either send it across if you got a virtual person, or there are softwares that can transcribe this into a blog. All right. And you could actually download this piece of content into audio format, and you can then create a podcast. You literally can take screenshots of this video as we go along and create social media posts. So there are so many ways that we can repurpose one single piece of content and then go out and create for and relate to our audience. It is not a matter of I cannot do it. It's a matter of, can I give? Because if you're a giver, if you're somebody who really wants to help, if you're somebody who really wants to make the people around you make sense of the world around them, if you are a person that really wants people to have a happier existence based on the information and content that you can give to them, who are you to stop yourself from creating something that can be reproduced in order to help somebody do and have a happier existence? So that question, I'm not able to do this. Maybe we should rephrase it as, am I willing? because there are tools, systems, and processes that are already out there that will enable us to create for and relate to the people that we're demanding money from.
Yeah. And that's such a good point that you raised as well. Like you mentioned, you know, if I have someone in the team to do it, and this is where the business owners, you got to look at, if you want to be achieving something, it is absolutely possible. Like I'm sure, Prosper, I know you're a super smart man, but you've got also a super smart team. You know, you've got a superpower team. Likewise with myself, I obviously don't do everything myself either, but it's being able to say, hey, if we're going to repurpose any of our content, these are the steps, like create the systems and processes behind it to get that done. But you don't necessarily need to be the one doing it.
Absolutely. And maybe some people might not be at that stage as yet, but I believe there are places online where you can get it done on Fiverr for as little as $5 to $10, depending on, you know, the exchange rate in Australia. And I'm going to say this with utmost love and respect. If you are going to be expecting something for nothing, then maybe business is not for you. Because you got to give something in order for that value to be appreciated and reciprocated with either a credit card or praise or like, or any of those things that we are always seeking out for as business owners. So what are you giving? Because we get paid in direct proportion to the value that we give to the marketplace. If you're not giving any value, and if you're not making somebody else's life better, you can't expect to be entitled that you just put your website out there and then it works. Because like you said, and shout out to my team behind Leong Digital, we've got a 16-person strong team that is just gonna really make sure that if we're working with our clients, we're doing the best we can with the little that they have, just so that they too can grow into a business that's profitable and enjoyable.
Absolutely. And I love that you're giving a shout out to your team as well, because like I said, the engine that runs the business. You know, you're the rock star. We talk about the rock star, and you've got your, you know, the backup singers at the back. But it's exactly what we do for your clients. You know, your clients and our clients. It's about how can we help them move forward. Anyway, so that's sort of, you know, we've got a bit sidetracked there, but we talked about that's content. And the last thing, what is the last sort of topic that people need to consider as to whether they are ready or not ready for SEO?
Great stuff. What do you sell and who needs it? That's a question you always have to constantly be asking yourself. What do you sell and who needs it? Because who needs it is the person who's going to be searching for it. And what do you sell? Do they absolutely love that product so much that they would get, because it takes just 3 seconds for a lot of people to make a decision, really, whether to buy from you or not. All right. Or to stay on your website or not. So do you absolutely understand what that client wants, what they're searching for, and how you are best positioned to help them? So an intricate understanding of your business, your outcomes, and how you're going to be able to, you know, help that person be, do, and have whatever it is that they're looking for is very, very essential. Because the reason why somebody is searching for that thing, whatever it is that you're selling, maybe it's business processes, maybe it's SEO, social media marketing, what do they need it for? Is it going to help them be well, do well, or, you know, expand or grow their business? Because if you don't understand why somebody needs your product, then there's no way you can create the content that then leads them towards making the decision to search for the kind of product that you're offering.
So that's marketing 101. Understanding who your target market is and the message that you're putting out to them.
Absolutely. So so while we're around that marketing 101, there's 3 M's that we need to really consider. And this is not just SEO alone. What is your message? Who is the market? And what media are you going to use to reach that market? SEO is a media. This Facebook thing that we're doing is a media. Blogging is a media. Instagram is a media. TikToking is a media. But if you don't have a message and it's not directed to whatever market, you could have the best content in the house, but if nobody knows and understands what you're talking about,
Exactly. I'm right with you. Exactly what you said.
all right. Did you hear what I said?
It looked good. It looked good, but I don't really know what it meant. I'll take two. Thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's exactly what's happening. We are out there. So these social medias, SEO, they're like a megaphone. And we have been given this megaphone to a random audience. What are we going to say that people are going to raise up their hand and say, hey, I'm the one you're looking for? All right. In any given scenario, how does somebody pick themselves from a crowd and say, you know what, this is me. All right, Cheryl, I'll stand in line. You've called me out. So this is exactly what we're doing in whatever platform that we jump onto. All right.
Fantastic. I love it. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap that up. What are the key things then, Prosper? People who, I mean, it's incredible. It's an incredible tool. SEO, if you've got a website, if you know who your market is and you're in it for the long run.
Absolutely.
SEO is probably something you need to look at. But should you do it alone? Can people do it themselves and manage it and get the best results on their own?
Yes and no. First of all, it really depends on what your niche is and how deep the pockets your other competitors have. Now, this is now going towards, because when people hire us, we're a 16-person team. And can you imagine if you're one person who is only doing maybe 30 minutes of that SEO? We've got 16 people that are doing it 24/7 on your competitors. So you need to weigh your options and see, is this something that I'm going to dedicate my time towards? Because what SEO is just a tool in your toolbox. It's not the be it and end all. All right. I'm literally talking myself out of business right now. So thank you, Cheryl. If you're hiring, let me know.
I need a marketing guy. There you go.
It's a trap. I knew it. So basically, SEO should not be the only thing that you rely on. All right. It is part of an overarching marketing strategy. You should also be making sure that you are, first of all, really serving your clients. Because when they go out there, they're going to leave you a review. And when they do leave you a review, that also can help you get indexed. And then that will be the SEO juice that we're looking for. So let's just put it in a nutshell. For you to really, really be able to succeed in an SEO campaign, it's like when you go for your driver's license or for any government, issued document, they need what's called 100 points of ID. So do you have the content? Do you have, constant engagement on your social media or on other platforms, which then warrant or tell Google that, okay, this person is not a one-click wonder or a hole in a wall. So we need to send this person, especially, if you've got your Google Maps on there, Google doesn't want the responsibility that, oh, somebody went there and they got hurt or they got their hair burnt or whatever it is, because that doesn't make Google look good. So back to the whole story. Have you got the content constantly updating on your website? Have you got the right structure on your site that people go on your site and they find exactly what they're looking for and they just don't bounce off? Because the more people bounce off your website, Google automatically sees that as people don't want to go on this site. So that puts you down a little bit. So you make sure you've got all these 100 points of ID in order for your website to constantly grow. Now, some of these things might happen instantly. Some of these things might happen in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Some of these things might happen in a year. So you might not know that a picture on your website is not actually showing up because you're not constantly looking at your whole website. We're only looking at the front page. If you've got a team, they're constantly opening every page, testing every link, testing every setup of the website, because the moment a platform or a link doesn't work, Google automatically blacklists you, because then they don't understand what's going on your website. So as one individual, we don't have the eyes, the capacity to follow through all those things that are happening in our business at any given time.
So the moral of the story is probably not. If you're one person, and it's particularly if you're one person and you have a whole lot of other things, probably more important things to focus on in your business. Just like everything else, I'm a big sort of cheerleader for surrounding yourself with support and surrounding yourself with experts and specialists in particular area. Which, Prosper, I'd love for anyone that's listening and they're really keen. I can't actually see any Facebook comments there, but anyone that's keen to really find out how their website is doing. You know, I know you've got an SEO audit tool. Tell us how can we find that tool, and what is that tool going to help us do?
Absolutely. So with anything in life, you need to understand the core problem of what's happening and how then to fix it. All right. It's like you take your car to the mechanic, and before you tell them that, maybe the brakes are not working, they automatically start taking the wheels off, and, you don't understand what it is that they're doing. So when a website is out there on the internet, it's already breaking. There's certain things that are probably not firing at the same time. The web speed is not probably working. All of those things are the 100 points of ID that I mentioned. So our little diagnostic tool takes a snapshot of your website at that moment as how Google would have seen it. All right. So we have, we have turned it so that it's a little bit harder for you to pass that exam, which means if Google then looks at it, you actually would pass with flying colors. All right. So generally that tool gives you a snapshot of how the website speed is going, how people are actually, where exactly people are going on the website, and is it clear enough for them to read that content and get the context, of what you actually do. And it is on our website, which generally is www.levelongdigital.com.au. So the tool is just on the first page there. It is called a free SEO audit tool.
Fantastic. Yeah, get onto that. It's a freebie there. And what can people then do with that document? They can take it to either yourself or anyone that's looking after their SEO. Again, it's a diagnostic tool.
Absolutely. So that diagnostic tool spits out a PDF report in about 3 minutes. So we would have probably looked at your website and given you what we think needs to happen for you to actually start getting some sort of result with your SEO strategy. So when you have that report, you are more than welcome to send it to a professional or somebody who's looking after your website for them to slowly tick the boxes off the things that need to be worked on. All right. Some of the things you can do by yourself, but it is advisable that, some of the technical core stuff that might be a little bit confusing, you just get somebody to look at it and give them that specific instruction so that they don't tell you, things that are not warranted, or things that might just be too confusing for you to handle. And eventually you would lose a lot of money and start hating on SEO.
Don't hate on SEO. It's not you, it's me. Oh, all good. Prosper, it's been absolutely fantastic. I know that's a fantastic tool, but also you're really great with the digital marketing. I understand you've got a community as well. Before we sort of end off, where are the other places that people can learn more about how to get, build their brand, how to create more value and content for their clients? where can they find the support? And I know you have a lot of great areas for people to go to.
Absolutely. So just to give context to this whole story, I bet by the time people finish watching this video, you already have received 16 emails from somebody perpetrating as an SEO expert. All right. So what I have done is I've made sure that I'm creating a platform where people don't need to concentrate on all those emails, but we can all, congregate, ask questions, and learn more about how it actually works. And the thing that I'm actually doing is because I'm a practitioner, I'm actually showing people what needs to be done, what sort of content you need to be putting out there to create engagement and also buzz around your name, the name of your business, in so many different touch points, which will then get people to start searching for your name out there. So we've got a Leong business community where I have small to medium businesses. Usually people that are in there are, some of them are clients, some of them are my personal friends, and some of them I've met along the way. And if you would find people that are in that group, we really want to make sure that they have a business, they are actually a practitioner in whatever they're doing. Either they are on their way to start creating, an SEO strategy, or they are already involved in some sort of SEO strategy. So when you come in there, you will maybe take note. Don't look at what I'm posting. Look at why I'm posting. That's the best thing to learn more. It could be a lot, but I'm not doing it for people that are in the group. I'm doing it for the robots and for the algorithm. The more my name is out there, the business is out there, it just really makes a lot of touch points for the Google robots to say, hey, this name, it keeps popping up. It must be important.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We're doing it for the robots. Hashtag do it for the robots. Thank you so much, Prosper. It's been fantastic, and I think your coffee's gone cold anyhow. But I've been
sipping.
You've been sipping. Good man. Some really good points there. I think for anyone there, it's all about being able to reach more people, right? Lead generation's a big part of it. SEO. If you've got a website, if you're not already doing something with that, have a chat to Prosper, or at least someone else that is in the SEO space. Use that audit tool. Have a think about how are you getting more valuable content out there to your target audience. Awesome.
Absolutely.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Prosper.
And Cheryl, I would like to thank you for this time, because basically,
thank you.
A lot of people don't realize that when you create content like this, you're giving a piece of yourself some time, and you're giving value that not only can be used today, but in years and years and years to come. Somebody might be watching this video in 2059 and finding value and making sense of the world around them. So thank you so much for creating.
Thank you for being a guest. Thank you for being our guest. Like you said, I love to be able to showcase amazing people with super talents and superpowers doing great things for other businesses. So thank you for joining me on Virtual Coffee, Prosper. You take care of yourself. Everyone out there, have a fantastic Wednesday and take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time. I gotta get it. There you go. Live long and prosper. Awesome. Ciao, ciao. Take care now. Bye-bye.